I thought it might be useful to try and remind you, and bearing in mind that many of you will not necessarily be intimately involved in decontamination services, exactly what medical devices refers to. And I'm going to quote the definition that has come out of standards and that has come out of the Healthcare Act and the Code of Practice. Medical devices refers to all products, with the exception of medicines, used in healthcare for the diagnosis, prevention, monitoring or treatment. The range of products is very wide. Now that does include dental products, dental surgeons, the activities of dental surgeons and nurses, although as you may see later, they sometimes seem to have alternate views. I thought I'd begin by a little bit about the historical overview and then just go gradually forward. Neither Neil nor myself propose to keep you here for a very long time because we're aware that we want to catch trains and you do too. Although there is little evidence, there is evidence of surgical instruments being used and prepared for use at least 2,000 years ago, a shorter time as 50 years ago in the United Kingdom, medical devices for use in clinical situations were being handled on site in nursing and operating room areas. And I certainly remember as a junior nurse being scolded on more than one occasion. Handling involved an alleged cleaning process and terminal disinfection, usually using a tank or vessel of boiling water, with only steam autoclaves available in the basement of hospitals for those products unable to withstand immersion in water. And I have to say that very early in my career, I thought it was quite appropriate for surgical dressings and linens to be brown, because that's the colour they always came out of the steriliser. It was a long time before I realised they should be white. Towards the end of the 1950s, the Ministry of Health, and I have to say that our own Ministry of Health has been very dynamic in many ways in terms of sterilisation and disinfection, undertook several research projects at the instigation of eminent microbiologists to ascertain the potential hazards of local processes and to test the effectivity of central reprocessing facilities within the hospital environment. We saw the development of dedicated facilities, originally in Cambridge and in Belfast, to process reusable syringes and needles and simple ward and departmental instrument packs, sometimes dressing packs and sometimes textiles. It was not until the advent of the Edinburgh tray system by Sheila Scott and Colonel Bowie in 1962 in Edinburgh that the Edinburgh tray instrument for surgical instruments for operating rooms became widely used. Soon after that development, the emergence of central sterile supply departments, nominally CSSDs, theatre service centres, TSCs or theatre sterile supply units, took place widespread throughout the United Kingdom. Apart from the actual sterilising equipment, which had improved considerably with published standards available since 1964 in the UK, adopted catering, i.e. dishwashing machines, were generally used in the majority of departments and still continue today to be used in some departments still awaiting upgrading to clean instruments and utensils. At that time, we didn't recognise that there was a science involved in cleaning medical devices that were intended to be sterile at the point of use and reprocessed between uses.